Hi, welcome to High Valley. Today I will interview Vinnci Lou. Vinnci is a design director from Macau that works at Impossible Labs agency in Menlo Park, California. Hi Vinnci, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, I'm doing fine.
Great, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Awesome. Vinnci, you started your career many years ago in civil engineering in Macau.
Yeah.
And now you're doing design, UX, UI design in the Silicon Valley. How was all that long journey to here?
It's a really long story. I studied civil engineers, but then in my second year, I already know that I didn't like it. But having Chinese parents, pretty strict, saying no, you have to have your degree, then you can do something else. Then so I finished the degree, but then in between, because I was not very interested in civil engineer, so I was doing a lot of other things. Also because I'm very interested in design, in fashion at that time, so I was taking a lot of courses in doing fashion design, like DIY t-shirts or really doing the fashion drawings, all those kind of things. Actually because I was spending a lot of time doing student association stuff at that time, so I started to grow quite close relationship with some of the professors because I'm helping them to organize events and stuff like that. And then one day was in the my second year in university, my professor called me on my phone, and I was like, well, why are you calling me? So apparently what happened was one of my senior student, a year 3 student, he's supposed to go to Serbia for an internship, and then he bailed out last minute. So my professor just called me and asked me and I go, and because I just didn't really know where Serbia is and I found this fun, and so I just without thinking, just go. So that was actually one of my life-turning experience. It's the first time I left Macau and then be exposed in a international culture. It wasn't a long experience, it was maybe 2 months, but I lived in a dormitory with international people from all over the world, pretty much one of each. I'm so ignorant about the world. And that was the moment that I feel like, okay, once I finish my study, I really want to see the world. And then, so fast forward to my year 4, same professor called me again. Okay. Similar situation. That was there is an internship exchange opportunity. All my classmates at that time, no one wanted to do an internship because that was the time when Macau were building a lot of casinos. So all my classmates in their year 3 or year 4, they were already got a job. Me, because I never really wanted to be a civil engineer, so well, why not? Like before I really have to work, maybe it's good to travel sometime and go somewhere. And then at that time, the internship destiny was not Lisbon, it was Portugal. It was a small town in Portugal. So that was in the summer. I was still waiting for my master to start. We were learning Portuguese at that time. Because I had nothing to do, so I started to draw t-shirts to sell on the streets, like just to do something related to art and design, right? So whatever I can think of. Every year in around June, it was a big festival in Lisbon. And then I just met a friend, and then he was like, okay, let me bring you to meet my friend. It's just a lot of people, like just friends. And then, so that was another life-turning point. That was where I met my current boss. He owned a web company in Lisbon, and at the same time, he was a part-time yoga instructor. And then, so he saw me on the street. So I think afterwards we talked about it was more like saw this lost Macau girl. Don't know what she's doing, and she seems to be a good girl. Maybe give her something to do. So go to do yoga at least like once or twice a week. Then you're doing something. Then one day, I was still in the yoga studio, and Chris came to tell me that he and his best friend Kwame, they started an agency, and then the clients was really demanding, in the sense that they would ask them to do design review every other day, something like that. So they had to to prep for presentation almost every day. So in parallel, they have to think about concept, design, sketching things, and at the same time they have to put in a presentation, which is talking about 8 years ago. So there was no sketch, no anything fancy thing. At that time, we were still using like InDesign or something like that to do wireframes. So they sensed that they need someone, and then Chris knew me that I was a person with engineering background who loves art and design, who knows how to do Photoshop, all those kind of things. And then I think he joined the dots together, and then he feels like maybe she can do UX with all this combination. So I think he was also very brave to pick up a girl on the street and then gave me a job.
He saw your talent besides being bold.
Yes. And that is really how I started. That was really my turning point. How the whole story, how I starting from civil engineer, end up in Lisbon, and then becoming a UX UI designer. And I've been in that company for 8 years now. So I'm like from a super junior to like step by step with experience. Then we have a need, it's impossible, we have a need to open an office here. And then, so Chris just brought me over pretty much, transferred me from Lisbon to here, and then we set up this office together.
Amazing story. And how did you manage from designing user manuals and doing simple wireframes to develop your design skills? Because it was such a tiny company. Were the founders your mentors? Did you study outside of the company? How did you develop?
So I think I was really lucky to have that group of people, that 3 people that were working with me, that they were really my mentor and very patient with me to allow me to learn. And I have to say, I'm a hard worker too. So I think that makes a difference. And I think I'm also lucky in the sense that I got into the agency, and then we have really different types of projects and different types of clients. So I really learned every client and every project, that I learn a little bit things from the clients, from my colleagues, and also from the product itself. And one thing I know, that as long as you are a hard worker, as long as you are a nice person and you're open to ask questions, people will always help you. You don't need to pretend that I know everything. Once you start to pretend you know everything, people just won't tell you things.
And they realize that you don't know.
And then when they realize that you don't know, and then we'll be in a very bad position.
And what does your work look like as a very hands-on design director at Impossible?
So currently, how my work is, maybe I would say 30% hands-on design, and then 70% all management. Management is not talking about just internal management, also account management, also new business, all these kind of things put together. That's 70% of my time.
And in your 30% hands-on design work, what kinds of things do you do?
I'm so close to clients and so close to the product. I know the strategy of the product where I'm going. So I actually have more information than my team in Lisbon. So I would do more high-level conceptual sketches, and then maybe would more think about design strategy, and then that would be the part I do more, and then I pass more the real hands-on and UX UI design, the detail design to my team in Lisbon.
Several years ago, someone saw your talent and hired you and helped you be where you are now. Mm-hmm. And now, as a design director, you are the one who picks the talent and hires people. So when you are interviewing candidates, what do you look for in the person?
So I think, first of all, yes. So Impossible is a small agency. So we really look for people can work autonomously. That's very important. And then another thing is, I especially like people with diversity background. Diversified background? Background? Like, even the English is not speaking very good, it's also fine, as I can communicate. But yeah, so especially people that if, for example, if we're hiring a designer, or currently we're actually really hiring, we call it creative product manager. So it would be a hybrid of design. You would do UX, UI. We're looking for someone to do UX design, at the same time can do management, who is interested to do management, and then can also help us to do account management, because that person would got deployed to our client, and then you have to handle that whole account by yourself. So another thing that I'm looking in the resume is if the person has worked in different countries before. Yeah, so international background, and yes, and it would be easy to travel, because in agency work we travel a lot, and we work a lot on client's office, and we never know where is our next client. So another thing about impossible, it's actually very important to us, is if we hire this new person, can we get along?
Mm-hmm.
And get along not just working, of course, also in the social life. We're a small group of people. So if there's one person really off, it would really just feel odd.
And if you have, in your own experience, could you pick one of the best things of the Macau culture, the Portuguese culture, the Silicon Valley culture?
I think in Macau, we tend to work really hard. We tend to not take things for granted. I think this is what we learn in our culture, and then also very humble. And then when it comes to talking about people here, that what we really like and what I really appreciate, that especially people from California, they're more trained to be more critical thinking. Usually they always can think outside of the box, usually. And also they're very good at speaking, public speaking. And then compared to, for example, Lisbon people are more, they're really about work-life balance. Mm-hmm. And then one very cool thing in Europe I find is that the free spirit, not judgmental spirit, that is something that is very appreciated, in the sense that everyone can be really true to what they really like, what they really believe, and they will speak up about it. They don't really worry, and at the same time, other people won't judge you because you're different.
And Vinnci, if you found today a person that is in the same situation you were when you were in college, that you were studying a career you wasn't sure about and you didn't know what to do, what would you tell them?
One quote I really like, it is from the first Chinese astronaut who went to the moon. His name is Liu Yang. He said that opportunities are for the people who are prepared. So it is always be prepared.
So Vinnci, thank you very much for being here and sharing with us your amazing story. That is so nice to hear.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and I really love to share my story, and I really hope that I can inspire some people. I really hope that everyone can do what they want to do in their life.
You will certainly inspire them. Thanks.
Thank you.
If you liked our channel, feel free to subscribe, to like it, or to share it. Thank you.